Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition? Stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion. Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years
And we are live.
Woo-hoo! Listen, every time the music is going, I'm bopping my head now, and I'm like, I still love it, Sister Clearly. I know we say it every week. But I still love the beat. It gets me going, and I'm just like, oh, it's so cool. Anyway, I digress. So, welcome, family. Greetings, good evening, assalamu alaikum to our brothers and sisters, and just welcoming you in on this happy Thursday evening. And listen, like always, we have something to share at the seventh Region Coalition, and we can't do it unless we have you here. So if you're joining in or gonna grab a friend or a family member or somebody, or even transfer it from Facebook to like the copy link and put it in somebody's text box by their phone, or if they don't want to do Facebook, we got YouTube. We got options. We got options. I'm just saying, we got options. So come on, like, share, like, either order.
Brother Lyle's not here, but I'm gonna say it for him. You ready?
Go ahead.
Go get your peoples. Let's hear like his voice.
Right. In the Brother Lyle voice. Go get your peoples. Now, okay, there you go. So anyway, we're live on YouTube as well. So either one, please go like, share, join us. We got a good conversation. And if you've got some young people or even older people, you probably want to tune into this.
We want a good mixture tonight, family. We want a good mixture tonight.
Yeah. It is. It's a good topic, because I wish I can just say it's for one group, but it's really for both groups. Because if you look at, if you didn't know, if you didn't go to our Facebook page and check out what our topic was, you might not know what I'm talking about. So that may give you a trigger to go back and go take a look. But you'd be surprised just about the amount of sales that happens between this particular topic that you got to think, and the events that happens around the world, globally and locally, and in your nearest neighborhood. It's having some type of effect that we may want to pay attention to and catch, especially if you have young children that are interacting with these types of things. So either way, I am your sister Michelle. I am your moderator for the evening. And I am so thankful to be here. And I'm so thankful to the team that I have here, that we pushed through and pulled it through. And kudos to Sister Kalita and Brother Tony, always, of course, standing up firm. And Brother Lau, who comes in and just blesses us with his, his introduction and his all the things that he brings. He's just he just adds to the team. So we're all just kind of all over each other. So anyway, I will not belay the message, but I just wanted to let you all know that how much I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate the team. I'm very grateful that we have the platform, and we pray and hope that you take something that we give as a gift, right? Because it's sharing is caring. So it's a gift. So whatever we give you, trust me, we're thinking about it, and hopefully you're thinking about it in the right way as well. So since I don't have Brother Lau to pass the baton to, I'm going to have to pass the baton to my sister, Kalila, in her slamming outfit, by the way. I'm just saying.
I want to first start off in the most holy name of Allah, always bearing witness that there's no God but Allah. Muhammad is his messenger. I would like to greet my sisters, brothers, and others in the greeting words of peace in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. To all my Christian family, praise the Lord. We are here and we thank Allah over and over again for his divine intervention in our affairs. Okay, so Sister Michelle mentioned my get up, right? So I got my gamer shirt on, right? And I'm dressed like early 80s. I have my early 80s gear on, and basically this topic is a no judgment topic, because you can remember back in the days when we used to be gamers, right? We never called ourselves gamers, but we went to the game room, the arcade, and we stayed there for hours and hours and hours and hours. Our moms had to come and get us from the game room because we was in there spending all of her quarters. Look, all of her, her laundromat quarters that we supposed to have been getting the laundromat washing the clothes with. We spent all our quarters at the arcade. But this was a love that we had in the 80s and 90s. Now that this phenomenon has took place, now it's at the comfort of our children as well as young adults' homes. So what we're trying to do is deal with the negatives and the positives of gaming, and how we as a family can look through it in a look through it and pierce it, comb it out, find out what is good about gaming and what is the negatives about gaming, and how can we reflect as a community to help our people in regards to understanding what it is and to solve these issues. And without further ado, I'm going to pass the baton over to my dear brother, Brother Tony.
Go ahead. I feel like we're in elementary school when we do that.
Hey, we're young at heart, brother.
I'm sorry?
So we're young at heart, brother.
Praise be to Allah. In the name of the one God who bears many names, some know him as Jah, others know him as Jehovah, some know him as Dios, some know him as Bon Dieu, some know him as Allah Abdumare. Regardless to the name, we ask that you call on the God. We bear witness to the oneness of Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. We are forever thankful to Almighty God for raising from among us the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank them both for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be unto you. Welcome to Thursday Night Talks, which this is a program brought to you by the 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives, a coalition set up by a student regional minister here in the 7th Region, which encompasses the state of Florida.
That's right.
The Caribbean, Central and South America. I speak of our brother, Student Minister Patrick Muhammad. He organized us soon after the criterion message of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on July 4th, 2020, where we were assembled to help guide our people to truth, guide our people to the realities of an experimental COVID-19 vaccine, which now we are seeing the ripple effects of that particular inoculation, where it's causing health issues among our people. We're going to have a future broadcast, inshallah, God willing, in regards to this information, but we are still on the continued mission of saving lives. And every week we broadcast that message through the 9 ministries set up by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, which was set up in the midst of the Millions More movement back in 2005. Tonight, we are focusing on the Ministry of Science and Technology. If we could bring up that particular ministry, Sister Kalila or
Yes.
Michelle. Praise
Yes,
be to Allah.
I am working on that now.
There are in total 9 ministries. Tonight, we are focusing on the Ministry of Science and Technology, which is the continuous development of technological resources. For example, the application of scientific knowledge to the solution of human problems. The ministry embraces the broad discipline of engineering and its sub-disciplines, including civil engineering, the design and construction of public and private works, such as airports, roads, railways, water supply and treatment, bridges, dams, and buildings, also chemical, electrical, aeronautical, and mechanical engineering. This ministry will also utilize information technologies to improve overall efficiency of all ministries, including the use of websites and webcasts. The division will work closely with the Ministry of Information to develop standard IT protocols and operating procedures and encourage technological education and training. And so tonight we have a beloved brother, a beautiful brother that we'll be getting into a dialogue with him. He's very knowledgeable in the field of gaming, which is by certain standards today, it's also considered to be a part of social media, as many of us are now interacting with each other through gaming, which is very important for us to realize and recognize, because that's how many of us are literally interacting with each other and learning how to be social and learning who is involved in what endeavor throughout the world. And so we look forward to getting into a beautiful and awesome dialogue here tonight. And so I hand it back over to Sister Michelle.
Well, thank you, Brother Judy. Praise be to Allah. Yes, I believe that I have the honors of doing the bio of Brother Kareem, which I've known since he was a little boy, and now he's a grown man and husband.
Sister Michelle, you were born in New York. You're not English.
I'm just saying. we love Brother Kareem. Okay. Anyway. So let me read his bio. Kareem D. Mohammed. He was born in the NOI on July 15th, 1993, and is 29 years old. Oh, my Lord Jesus. Registered on July 15th.
We remember Kareem when he was little. Go ahead. Yeah.
13 years at Muhammad's Mosque, number 29 in Miami, Florida. And that's the 7th region, just in case you guys didn't know. He has served in various posts. And he's a very intelligent young man, by the way. Past squad leader, security for the local minister, Farrakhan's Twitter army, apprentice investigator for social media, junior FOI lieutenant drill instructor, very good drill instructor, NOI affiliate teacher, front rostrum, NOI event security. He's done dignitary, I think it's digitary. I'm not that sure if that's spelled
dignitary.
Right. Dignitary. Okay. Security AV technician. He's currently in Atlanta, which we love Atlanta as well. It's a part of our extended family. But he's currently there as a head representative of the Ministry of Arts and Culture in the southern region. Certified, path trainer, PATH, path trainer. His outside activities include being a podcaster himself, YouTuber, Twitch affiliate, streamer, and Facebook streamer. He is also married to his beautiful, lovely young wife, Sister Sabah, Sabbath. Sorry, Sister Sabbath A. Muhammad. Currently, no children as of yet. Okay, that's it.
Sister Sabbath commented just a moment ago. She'll be on here rooting on her husband. There's Brother Kareem.
Woo!
Brother Kareem Divine Muhammad.
Yes.
And mind you, I'm in my Class A right over here, but Brother Kareem is also Class A tonight for gamers. He's got all the whole setup behind him and everything. Yes, come on, go ahead, Brother Kareem.
He's serious with it.
Mm-hmm. Honored to be on the show. Honor and privilege to represent myself and the 7th region and the southern region of the name of Islam.
And your 7th region for life, brother. You could be in the southern region, but your 7th region for life.
Already.
You and your wife, she married you. Both of you are 7th region for life.
Oh God, Brother Tony.
You're gonna start up a fight up in here. You better stop it now.
Ready.
Woo!
We look forward to this awesome discussion tonight, beloved.
Praise be to Allah. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger and servant. I'd like to greet the following audience tuned in on YouTube and Facebook, wherever you may watching this, in the greeting words of peace and paradise of Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Know what that means? It simply means peace.
Oh, praises be to Allah. And before we get started, I want to do a segue on. Is this a small video that we want to just kind of bring this, reality in check, but then we also want to the end of this reality to bring a little more subtle and positive effect of gaming as well. So let's take a look at this this article. Well, it was kind of like a video that really talked about the effects of gaming.
Leading to poor educational motivation, self-harm.
There we go.
Teenagers, according to a new study. Research out of Macquarie.
I'm gonna restart it.
Pathological gaming habits are leading to poor educational motivation, self-harm, and aggression among teenagers, according to a new study. Research out of Macquarie University revealed teens were among those most vulnerable to developing internet gaming disorder, resulting in poor impulse control and sensations of disconnection. Almost 900 children took part in the survey, 2.8% of which met the criteria for IGD. Researchers say the addiction can be moderated by building students' confidence and addressing feelings of isolation. Pathological gaming habits are leading to poor education.
Rapper Blueface has a thing for embarrassing his girlfriend, Krishan Rock.
Now, you got another story there.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of stuff. So let's.
Anything to do about gaming?
Yes, I was trying to turn it off. So let's dive into that. Let's really dive into that, because they are now have a psychological condition in regards to gaming. And it was the first time that I ever heard of a diagnosis that is tied into gaming. I want to talk about pretty much want to talk about the negative part of the industry of gaming. I was talking to, I think, Sister Michelle and Brother Tony in regards to a certain situation about I think he was 10 years old,
Mm.
and he wanted something that actually tied into his game, and he wanted his mother to purchase it for him on Amazon. And when his mother refused to purchase the game, he shot her and killed her. And it so when the police came, he apologized to his grandmother, for killing her daughter. But in the same breath, he said, did my package or did my part of my game come in the mail from Amazon? So to me, it was like this young individual was so tuned out into the reality that you have took a life to where you're so plugged into this matrix type theme of a thing that you don't even share feelings and emotions anymore, because it's all about what I can get in order to solve my curiosity in gaming. Can you touch on that, Brother Kareem?
Yes, I can. Um, Between that news report and the article and story that you have just shared, these are both signs of not even just IGD, internet gaming disorder, because that's fairly new to my ears as well, as someone who's
Okay.
playing games since I basically came out the womb. But it's just plain addiction.
Okay.
Like with anything, with food,
Right. Right.
drugs,
Right.
sex, anything of that order. If you have too much of it and it's not controlled, it becomes an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Kareem, our phones,
Mhm.
phone addiction.
Social media.
Right.
I have students that if you tell them to put their phones away, they start getting nervous and my phone away. No, can I just have it over here? And so this is a symptomatic condition, not just in regards to gaming, as you put it, but it's like
Mhm.
we're becoming more and more addicted to these material things, and
Mhm.
we're becoming less disciplined now, and we're doing everything that we can. I'm talking about the younger generation. It's like we just can't wait for things.
Mm-mm.
And so, but as adults, we have to take a look at how we play a part in the situation ourselves. We can't just simply tell our children or our young people, go put that to the side, but we ourselves aren't doing it ourselves. And we ourselves are not doing something to
Mm.
discipline ourselves in their presence.
Mm. You.
I'm gonna jump in and bring you in into this, Brother Kareem. Let's get you more into this. I think some of the problems, and and you and my son and you all have grown up playing these games, but the real issue is two sides of it, right? Because we're talking about the negative side of it, right? But gaming in total, right, takes the distraction and desensitizes the mind in a sense from what it's seeing to based upon what it's showing you. Could be used positively, could be shown negatively. But when your eyes are moving at a certain rate, whether whatever game you're working on, the mind starts to anticipate things in the same way. So these things starts to link it to ADD, ADHD,
Mm.
all these other things. But
All these
let's come
labels.
back. Yeah, let's come back and talk about, in your definition, what do you define gaming as, right? From what you understand, and why gaming do you believe has become so popular, not just amongst children and young adults, but with adults? Because you'll find more adults at GameStop and all these other types of gaming locations than you will find actually young children. So anyway, I just want your
Right.
take on that.
It's a loaded question because gaming has become so multifaceted since hitting the mainstream. It's not just hitting your local arcade and putting our quarters in the machine anymore,
Right.
especially since hitting home. Gaming for many, it's a pastime. It's a career for some people. Um, and it's an escape from reality for a lot of people.
Wow.
So it's
Wow.
definitely multifaceted, especially with those whose reality is not what they want. That game, that in that moment, that game is their escape from it all.
Mm. Wow. It's like, it reminds me
Mm.
because my game of choice was Space Invaders
Mm.
and Centipede, right?
Mm.
And a little Pac-Man, Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man.
Mm-hmm.
But we had before you actually, well, when you went to another level, you actually had to put your name
Mm-hmm.
in there to represent who you are.
Your
So,
initials, yep.
right, your initials or whatever the case may be. So with that initials, you become that person.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you nowadays you're a warrior or you're a killer or you are the assassin or you are these things, and then when you make yourself those names, you try to actually walk within that name of who you are. But you can be behind that screen as just a person that's so timid, really very have a lot of self-esteem issues, right? Dealing with coping mechanisms, dealing with social issues. So if we can talk about, just the above the mental aspect, because right now you already touched about the mental aspect of it, but just taking that little innocent boy and introducing them to now they have a machine gun literally in their hand and their target is whatever moves, right?
Mm.
Can you take us to, if you can, the mindset of that little boy saying, okay, I get bullied at school, but I am the warrior or I am the killer at home via gaming?
It's a confidence booster, honestly.
Okay.
Like I said, it's an escape from the reality that you're in. And with most of these games, which is why, and this is a quick sidebar, parents, if you're listening to me now, and especially nowadays where children don't even need to get games from GameStop anymore, they can buy it literally off the console digitally.
Right.
Mm.
Download it.
What your children play and who they are playing with.
Mm.
Because that's a huge thing. My mom controlled what I played and when I played.
Mm.
So I knew the distinct difference between the reality and the fiction,
Mm.
right? With a lot of these children who play these games, and we're talking about the first person shooters, the Call of Duties, the Fortnites, the PUBGs, Valorants, etc., etc. The games that involve a lot of the shooty and the bang bang and the blow up, right?
Mm-hmm.
These games are the only way they can feel super confident, cocky, even. They're seen as a nerd or dork or someone that's easy bullyable in school, if bullyable is a word. But then when they get home, they hop on the PlayStation or the Xbox or the PC, they rack up a kill death streak. And I'm the man. I'm untouchable.
Brother Kareem,
it's a confidence.
In light of that, I have a question, my brother. In the United States, there have been several lawsuits filed by parents since 1997, many lawsuits since 1997, actually beginning here in the state of Florida, alleging that violent video games such as Doom, and Doom was related to, it has been connected to the Columbine shooting, mind you.
Mm.
Yep.
A lot of my students talk about, like, if there was one game that they would never play, it would be Doom. Also Resident Evil, Mech Warriors, Grand Theft Auto. It is said that these have and many others contribute to behaviors such as violence among students in school shootings, like I said, in Columbine, and other violent acts among young people. How real are these types of allegations, and what kind of effect do real looking violent video games have on the minds of young people and their behavior, below?
Well, that is a multifaceted answer, because those parents who filed those lawsuits, they bought the games for those children. Not buy those games on their own. Lawsuits are, in my opinion, a farce. The games are violent, but if we remember, the very first violent game that even caused video games to this day to be rated from early children all the way to, in some countries, there are games that are literally marked AO, for adults only.
Right.
Combat literally pioneered the ESRB ranking system for games that you're allowed to play at this age to this age. And even at GameStop, when you as a parent or guardian are walking in and buying that child such and such game, the employee will tell you, they will read the ESRB, they will tell you what's in this game, they will tell you this game is not recommended for children, and they're giving you the choice of you purchasing this game for that child. And then you have to factor in, are you monitoring that child 100% of the time? Who is this child also playing games with?
Right.
I mean, especially nowadays in the age of the internet, you don't have to buy a game. You can go to freeonlinegames.com and you'll have the innocent looking games and the games that children really shouldn't be playing. And they have access to all of it for the free. So it's it's multifaceted. Yes, these children can be influenced by these games, but they don't necessarily have to be. It depends on how they are raised, if they are or are not monitored.
That's right.
You know,
and Kareem, I'm trying to get into this portion of it.
Yeah.
And I don't want us to skip around it.
Yeah.
If you take someone who's in an area, in a community that's systematically being introduced by violence all the time, shootings happen every day, fights happening every day, you know, cops and those situations that they see every day, right? That there becomes a condition or a systematic response to certain things, and the aggression and how they behave and all of these things that are tied to it.
Right.
Now let's take that scenario and put it in a game. And then you have some child in some suburb area who's not coming from that environment, but in their mind can't tell the difference. The mind doesn't know that this is a game. When you're doing these games, the mind says at that moment and at that time, it's real. So you're living. The body is going through the emotions, the adrenaline, the everything that you would go through in that situation is happening. So as they keep repeating the pattern of these types of games, there's it desensitizes them.
Right. Absolutely.
So what happens? So going back to Sister Kalila, and let's talk about this, because this child who didn't get his game, how did he get that way? You know what I mean? Somehow he was desensitized, because children who were not exposed to that extent would have some level of empathy.
Right.
There
Right.
wasn't any.
Right.
So, and this is with a lot of our children. So yes, it's an escape, but there's the psychology of it. Then this is in written journals. This is the reason why, you know, the negative part of the gaming, the violent, is that yes, it's creating the aggression. It's because the mind can't tell the difference.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. So
Situationally.
exactly. So Kareem, let's talk about that. Then I want you to
Right.
talk about personally
Right.
when you play these games. How is it making you feel?
Mm.
How, what happens when you play these games? And even though you're conscious of it, what is your body or your mind or how you're feeling telling you? Because more than likely, your body is still going through the motions of, am I shooting? Am I killing? Am I doing this? Am I doing that? Because the mind is, again, doesn't know the difference. But so go ahead. Let's talk about that because that's key. And this is the reason why this stuff is getting documented because these children are not seeing the difference.
Well, it's a real, again, it's definitely multifaceted. It really does depend on how that child is raised because a lot of people, some people, they play a game because they can relate to it or all they've been around, like you mentioned. Grand Theft Auto is an excellent example of this. San Andreas, more specifically, because the characters are Black. And they're going through these real life scenarios, drive-bys, all of these different things that happen in the projects in our neighborhood are put in that game, which is why San Andreas is probably one of the most revered out of all the Grand Theft Auto games. And I've never played any of them, but a lot of our people play those because even though there's some, it takes realism and over exaggerates it. There's some realism in that. Hey, I can jack someone's car.
The excitement involved in it.
Mm-hmm. And the difference is they can do it in the game, and they'll receive some sort of penalty in game. But yeah, I can pay myself to get out. Hey, look at me, I'm a thug, etc., etc. Right? And a lot of people, they play that because they feel like they can relate to it because they know if they did it in the real world, the consequences will be a lot different, and they take it a lot more seriously. But the problem is we popularize these things, and generations after us, they pick it up. Or those who never related to it, they see it's popular. They want to play it too. Now, all of a sudden, they like you said, they can't decipher what's real and what's not. They're thinking, oh, the police are just going to arrest me. I'm going to pay myself out of jail like you do on Grand Theft Auto. I got a 5-star on my name now, etc., etc. I'm big and bad.
Wow.
Brother Kareem, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan does teach us that this is the greatest generation that has ever been produced. They just need guidance.
Exactly.
And so, just in light of what you have to say right now, brother, the creativity level of young people, it's astronomical. Right now, Brother Kareem and Sister Kalila, Sister Michelle, there are many youth throughout the country, in particular cities like Milwaukee, where auto thefts are at all-time high, and what is being used to steal cars nowadays is just a simple flash drive. They break the console and use a flash drive to just basically steal the car. And so the high behind now, I'm now living what I see there in the screen in Grand Theft Auto. And so we have to make sure that we as adults are in communication with our young people, with our children, in regards to, as you put it, the ramifications, the realness of not just, like, I'm here, I'm stealing a car, nothing's going to happen to me. See, that's the problem with the mindset. Something very real is going to happen to you. Someone may see you stealing their car, you might get shot and killed. And so these are some very real scenarios that we have to put forth in front of our children.
Brother Tony and Kareem and Sister Kalila, think about this. What child or what young adult can go into an elementary school,
come on,
and shoot up children with no remorse?
No remorse.
Nothing stopped them to say, these are children, these are babies.
Right.
And Sister Michelle, then the logic when it's explained, it's like that is just their reality. There's
Right.
a big disconnection between this outer reality and the reality that they experience in video games or on television, in all forms of media. It's like, oh, well, I see it happening there all the time, so it should be okay for me to do this when I don't get my way.
Right.
Yeah, but they're not saying it like that. The mind is not conceptualizing it like that. They're going out there and they're making kills like they did in a video game. So in
Right.
their mind, those are just kills. They don't see them as people or children.
Right.
And just looking at them as that this is a kill.
And I'm so sorry, man. If I may, exactly why. Me personally, growing up, I never indulged in Call of Duty or Grand Theft Auto. The games I played, they were more on the fantastical level. Like you see the shirt. I played Street Fighter growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Still a great game. Still play it to this day. Realistic,
Right. What a comeback.
I couldn't throw a Hadouken.
Right.
Oh, no uppercut. I mean, I still tried as a child, but only because, it looked cool.
Right.
And think about it, this is why children play. It looks cool to them.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is made to be cool is not good anymore. Why, again, you really have to monitor your child, your cousin, niece.
You need to have conversation.
What they're playing, what they're watching, who they're playing, and what they're watching with. Because with children, especially at a young age, their minds are like sponges.
Right.
They absorb everything, which is why when I started playing games, even though Street Fighter was on the teen side and I played it when I was very younger, it was still fantastical. But I played Mario, I played Sonic, I played Pokemon, I played innocent quote unquote games.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got older, I played games that were more for older, and until now,
Kareem, your wife is here tag teaming. If I could put up her comment on the screen. Sister Sabbath says, because the fact of the matter is, as an educator, and I bear witness to this as an educator as well, Sister Sabbath, there is a lack of care and attention for our children.
Right.
That clip, referring to the clip that we showed earlier, that was played at the beginning, even said that over excessive gaming is due to neglect. Neglect from whom? Neglect from whom?
To veggie back off my wife, that is a huge thing. I know a lot of I'm friends with a lot of gamers, and most of them didn't have any friends outside of who they played with on that game. Some didn't have any friends at all. They just had people they just meet up with online to play this game. They had no social life outside of this.
And that becomes their only reality.
Their only reality. They don't come outside to greet family. They don't. They'll eat. They'll probably stop to use the restroom. Right back to the game.
Kareem, since you mentioned the quote unquote friends in this game, world, there has been some, and I have seen a lot of them where you not only create friends, but you also create enemies.
Yep.
Right. And these enemies, as you're playing these games, you're literally going back and forth in the chat was like, if I was near you, I would do this, that, and other. And it has been to the point where, these gamers are so technically savvy to where they can find your address.
You located such and such, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm at your door. Yeah.
Right. And even had the police, called and said that this person was the person that did the bomb threat here, and had police raid this person because of a simple argument that they had because of a game. And it gets really serious. I mean, some people have actually lost their lives
Right.
simply because of a argument, and then it goes into, now I really want to teach them not to play with me. And then, the person who does this, oh, did you see what I did to this person? And now that becomes even more, I'm more powerful, not only during this game, but outside of this game, of what I can do to people. Can you talk, a little more in regards to that, Brother Kareem?
Oh yeah, that's a whole, and that's not even just gaming. That's just on the internet. Period. Just talking smack down
Social
to the
media. Mhm.
comment section.
Mhm.
Mm,
Yeah, that's just a prominent thing. Whether you're trolling, hacking someone, etc., etc. That's unfortunately a prominent thing. And that's why, and I'm gonna keep going back to this point until I drive it home. You gotta monitor who your friends are, your children are playing with. And those of you who are gamers like myself, you need to surround yourself with people. Like, these people are not your friends in real life. Like,
right.
I don't game with anyone outside of friends I've met in personal life that I've bonded with,
Mm,
whether they be believers, Lost Mount, etc., etc. I play this fighting game, Tekken. If some of you are familiar, um, and we have this thing called Tekken Fight Nights. I mean, we have our little trash talk here and there, but at the same time, we're still jovial. We're still bros. It never escalates to where it's like, no, we like
Somebody's threatening somebody.
this. No,
right.
you
Mhm.
you have to be able to have those boundaries set. You can't just play with, and you can't play with anyone online. And should you come across that negativity, which I have received hate mail. I have received
Mm,
cussing at me over, the over a loss or whatnot, etc., etc. Um, I just say GG's, keep them moving. If they're troublesome, block them. I
mm.
Brother Kareem, we're gonna have to have your wife as your co-guest next time.
yeah, we
She just dropped another bomb just a few minutes ago.
relate.
Let me just read this. Relation in a game is or isn't relatable because the mind of the child has not been pricked into the mind of God
That's right.
and what and who God is. A person who knows who she or he is
Mm,
guards and protects what they value.
That's right.
Are they taught what is valuable? So
mm.
to all the parents that and adults that are tuning in, do we know who our children are? And
Right.
do we know who we are? And
Oh,
so if we truly
mhm.
do know, we would be more responsible and keep a watchful eye on and monitor what our children are being exposed to.
There's this reminds me of this. It was quote unquote fake, but it's relative. There's this video that went viral of this boy who was a gamer, and he and his father did not have a good relationship. Boy wasn't doing well in school. Father literally takes all of his game CDs and runs them over with a lawnmower.
Wow.
The boy, like, I'm saying boy, very in quotes. He's probably about around my age, maybe slightly younger, and he's throwing fits of rage, yelling, screaming, and all of that. Now, it may have been a quote unquote fake video, maybe, but a lot of relationships with gamers and their parents are like that because they don't really have
Any
a
reality outside of that?
It's like the lock. You remember when you were younger? What is it they call the lock key kid?
Yes.
Remember, and so
Mhm.
it's like that. If the parents are not there, you're absolutely right. If the parents are not there, they're not guiding what the children are listening to. They're just sticking them in front of a TV or a game so that they can continue on to do what it is that they need to do, whether it's work, whether it's their own entertainment, whatever it is. This is what you're mentioning, because I know that When my boys were, at that point, and they were the games, I watched everything. What is that game? What are you playing? Nope, turn it off. Can't play that. Take that away. Nope, no, brother can't look at it. So it was a lot of monitoring, taking away. You can't take this. You can't look that. I don't really care. Whatever. But it's that discipline you have to have, like you're saying,
Mhm.
and your wife.
Mhm.
I mean, you guys don't have children, but you can see the effects of what social media, gaming is having on the poor children. And like you're mentioning, sometimes they're on these things for hours. They don't have friends, they don't have a social life. You've got all types of issues with school. They can't figure out why your child can't sit still, why they're not excelling in their classroom work. They can't pay attention. They want to diagnose them with ADHD. They want to put them on medication. So besides all of this, and I don't want to lose sight of this, because we're only talking about the violence of
Right.
gaming,
Mhm.
right? And I don't want to say that all gaming is horrible. You can't do
Right.
it, because
Right. Come on.
Kareem is gaming still, but he's just choosing. He's making the right choices as to what to expose himself to,
Right.
and whom he's allowing to play these games with. So we're not saying that all gaming is
Definitely.
bad, but it's
Right.
that part of it, those types of games. And by the way, a lot of these big tech companies that produce these games, they don't let their children play with it if they
Oh
have.
no, absolutely.
Just
Mhm.
FYI, they're not letting their children because they know. But I'm just saying that I think for Kareem, there's a lot of positives in gaming. There's positive games. There's things where there's learning games. There's very positive things, because on the other side of it, I did the same thing. My children, when there was ABC games or learning games or math games, and they turn these things into a game. There's positive things that you can do, but it's just that for right now, the negative part of it is what you got to understand, and these are causing the problems, desensitizing the person from reality, being able to go and kill people or steal a car or do these crazy things that they would never normally do, or they get bullied, and so they feel like the next best thing to do is play out what they just played 1,000 times in a video game and go back to their high school or school and do the same thing. I mean, it's just that's what it is. So I just want to make sure that if we're gonna if we're gonna talk about gaming, I don't want us to talk about just one negative side of it.
Sure.
But what's
Right.
the positive side, Kareem, that you can talk about where there's some benefits of gaming? Because I'm sure there's always good and bad, but what's the good part of this?
Well, definitely for most, it's definitely a stress reliever after a long day. Definitely, it's a great leisure activity as long as it's controlled. Because I'm at that age now where I can't play games as long as I used to, and I'm like,
Oh,
look, I can't look at the screen no more. Especially now as a streamer, as a
Oh,
part of my this part of my career, my job, quote unquote. Like I know I can only play this for a certain amount of time, and then after that, that's it. I don't want to look at the screen anymore. But that's gaming can be monetized now.
that's
You
right.
can make money playing video games as either a beta tester for a future game coming out, as a streamer like myself, as a game reviewer. Like the options are open. As someone who can help set up gaming setups, like whether it's building a gaming PC, either creating an overlay for your
Mhm.
stream your stream online. I mean, shoot, this may shock you,
Mm.
but brother Ben X found a way to flip Grand Theft Auto and make it positive. What a lot of people don't know,
mm,
most Grand Theft Auto you see being played is usually on console, but you can also play it on PC. And with PC, you can mod things. Modding is like throwing your own little creations in there with different various code and whatnot. Ben X found a way to take a Grand Theft Auto server, flip it, and create his own world within.
oh wow,
Yes. Now
beautiful.
he made his own little avatar with him in a suit and bow tie.
Nice.
And he has people on that server like living as regular people. Now he's saying, and he's letting like some people play Grand Theft Auto their regular way, but he's added something to his world where there's like a consequence to it, where you can live positively, you can make money positively, or you can do negative things, and you'll feel the consequences of it. You know, there are ways games can be flipped into a positive thing. Even down the fighting games, of which I play, there are tournaments for these things where people actually get like prize winnings. Biggest fighting game tournament, and I watch this religiously because this is my genre of gaming. It's akin to watching boxing or wrestling, but there's this gaming tournament every year called Evo, where you watch the top players of their respective fighting game duke it out, and the winners get a fancy trophy, a new controller, and money. Thousands of dollars for being best of the best. There's a top 8, a top 4, and the number 1 for that year for almost every fighting game: Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Super Smash Brothers, which I know what's my boy's name? What's his name? This is just Michelle, your son.
Oh, David.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, David's always.
They won't forget David.
Oh yeah, he's like, Mom, I want to join the tournament. I want to join the tournament. I want to.
Yes.
Yes.
Like those. They. I mean, of course, you got to dedicate time and practice and whatnot, and that's what going online is for.
Yeah.
But you can learn how to go pro.
Brother Kareem, what about other programs that are oriented towards making us learn how to become more successful? I mean, for a long time, people would log on to Farmville and other programs where it teaches you how to maintain the farm, if you will. For my students, and I'm teaching computer science here, Minecraft, you can build houses. And one of my students told me, I don't like Minecraft. Can I use Roblox? Because there's a similar program there where you can build houses. Man, these children were like building apartment buildings and
interior design.
Yep.
A lot of awesome stuff on there. And what it, Brother Kareem, what it does, it inspires them to look more into that profession of becoming builders and architects and things of that nature. So can you expand a little bit about this, my brother, as we draw this program to a close?
Oh, definitely, especially on the Minecraft piece. When Minecraft dropped,
I love Minecraft.
that was probably there are 2 ways you can play the game. One way, of course, is the regular game. You're surviving in that world, etc., building your house, fighting off against the wildlife, in an innocent way. The other side, which is probably the most used on Minecraft, especially on PC, is the creative aspect, because you can literally build anything. I've seen people build statues of Sonic. I've seen people build a White House, etc., etc. Like the crazy creations in Minecraft, the amount of time and dedication is no wonder why there are a lot of architect
majors,
and even programs. Or my mom was even telling me one of the things you were required to do was learn how to play Minecraft. Dude, that's just architect. Imagine going into the gaming field, creating actual video games, learn to build them from the ground up, learning about polygons, frame rates, etc., etc. Like, if your love for gaming extends to where you want to actually create something of your own, that's there. Learning how to mod and create your own, add additional things, and make games that are already out even better, and monetize that. It's there. You just have to really want it. So you can either choose to play the game and make money off that, or make your own things with your gaming background.
Wow. I'm gonna say yes, because David, that's what he's into. That's what he's into. game development.
We're gonna have to look into this Minecraft scholarship that your wife is mentioning, Brother Kareem.
Yes.
And shoot.
Yeah, no, it's listen, it's a powerful thing that you mentioned, and that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about the positives, because I don't want everybody to think that there's a negative tone to this. It's just that those things that they capitalize on, that know that it's going to take us down a dark path and just get us into things that they don't even want to take accountability for.
Right.
That's the stuff we're trying to call out. When it's the negative, you got to pay attention, parents. You got to monitor your children. You cannot leave them in the hands. And the sister said it, it's really Satan. You're leaving them in the hands of Satan.
Right.
Games, the social media, all of these things. And why do you think they have games on social media? They got it's all types of stuff. I mean,
Right.
if you're not paying attention, you're going to lose your children. And this is how you lose them, really, honestly. But
there's a comedian out there that says, "Who raised you?" So it's just one of those things that, you have to be mindful of, raising your children, especially nowadays, because again, it was that lock and key method, lock-key method, but now it's like, okay, who is raising your children through these social medias? And I want to bring our tree of the week, okay, because we're coming to a close in regards to our segment. And our tree of the week is tips on how to prevent gaming problems. And the beautiful thing about the tips is Brother Kareem already said them, and I'm just going to just go and just reiterate, just basically just some tips to preventing gaming problems. First thing is setting time limits for games and sticking to them.
Right.
If you say that you're going to be there from 7 to 9, which to me I think is a little extreme, but when you're a gamer, you're inside the game. You're inside that reality. Okay. So a lot of times you could be on a game for, you don't think that it was an hour and it's 4 hours done pass, and you're like, what?
Don't let the game be really good. Don't let it be really
right.
Really story-driven ones, which are the most popular things right now.
Right.
Be like, it's midnight.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why it's important to set time limits for games and stick to them. The second thing is keep phones and other gadgets out of the bedroom so you won't play them at night. A lot of times when you are restless, the first thing you do is pick up your phone. And then you're on your phone for 2 or 3 hours during the middle of the night. And then when you try to go to sleep and then wake up at your designated time, you're so slothful because you that took that time where you're supposed to be resting, you're supposed to actually be, you're on the phone. So just make sure that you keep your phone and other gadgets, outside of the bedroom, or if you can, put it on silent or vibrate or whatever the case may be, because, a lot of times we have important calls that, we want to make sure our phone is by us, but definitely gadgets that, you feel that you will kind of deprive you from sleeping.
Or your switch. Because I'm saying that for all those that have a switch.
Right.
That's major, because a lot of the students that I teach, when I see them like looking like this,
right,
following well, what happened to you? I was up late. What were you doing? Were you playing games? Yes.
Exactly.
We have to very much monitor those kind of things.
Absolutely.
And monitor ourselves.
Absolutely.
Because we as adults, we do the same thing.
Of course.
When we're not playing a game, we're on social media. Right. 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Why am I still looking at these posts?
Right.
We have to be mindful of those kind of things.
Absolutely. And last but not least, do other activities every day, including exercising. this will lower the health risk of sitting and playing games for a long stretch of time. Get out of that seat. I know it's comfortable. You bought your favorite gaming seat. It's all leathered out and beautiful and all crisp.
Like the one that Kareem has.
Absolutely right. Right.
Nice
The one, the nice, comfortable one. You got to get out of that
get one of
seat.
those.
Right. You got to get out of that seat and get you some exercising, and allow the, endorphins to not only, be a part of gaming, but also be a part of exercising as well.
That's right.
But those are my three main oh, Brother Kareem has one.
I'm add an additional one, and this is
yes
most. When it comes to purchasing games for your children or child or adolescent, especially if they are Muslim like me,
go ahead.
Just say, I'm not purchasing this game because I said so, I'm the parent, etc., etc. Really explain to them why, and explain it in a way that makes sense. Because that whole no, oh, I'm the parent and say so. I'm not saying that they're owed an explanation, but it definitely helps. And if the child is raised right in the way of Islam, they may not understand immediately at that time, but they will thank you for it later. My mom let me play a lot of the games I play now at a young age, with the exception of Street Fighter, and even that was a stretch.
Right.
But she let me play the little things and allowed me to graduate as time growing. I wasn't 10 years old playing God of War. Was rated M for mature. I was not of age. I could not play it. I had to accept that.
Right.
Really, really hit home like this game. If I were to buy this for you, the effects it could have on your mind with this, the other being inside of it, could be detrimental to you later. And when you are of age and you are purchasing your own things, the choice is up to you.
Right.
And you are to live with the consequences of your actions. But until then, you're allowed to play this, and this. None of that.
Okay. Now,
all right.
That was a mic drop. But I want to bring it back to you, Brother Kareem, with your closing remarks.
Oh, wow. Oh, closing remarks. I don't know whether I should plug myself or. Well, of course, I'm grateful to have been part of this conversation, and anyone and everyone tuning in. Gaming, as always, I'll always say, is multifaceted, but it doesn't have to be a bad thing for you. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be if you let it, but it doesn't have to be. I'm almost 30 years old. Okay. Outside of this, I'm a dialysis technician. Okay. Outside of my gaming, I'm still out in the field pushing the FCN. I'm still going to my mosque meetings. I'm still holding it down for the MGT on post. You don't have to relegate yourself to just this chair and this screen and these consoles. Okay? They will be there when you get back.
Right.
I promise.
In other words, Brother Kareem, experience the balance of life.
Balance, duality. Okay? You don't have to be either this way or that way. You don't have to be this way or that way. Control, manage, and you'll be just fine. I used to be a gaming addict, hours at a time, 2 to 3 in the morning, sometimes 4 hours.
Wow.
But no, not anymore. I have responsibilities.
Right. Responsibilities. That's a good one.
Yeah, he does.
Praises be to Allah. So,
Beautiful
without
program.
further ado, we just want to thank Brother Kareem for just allowing us just to kind of dig into his world and just give us just the positives and just kind of just understanding the negatives and understanding why, these things happen instead of looking at it on, social media or on, you know, on the news where these children have went psychotic, right, to find, and then come bringing it to a norm. These are the reasons why. And I thank you, brother Kareem, for sharing that, because again, a lot of parents want help. They want help for their children, and I think you have given a lot of guidance and a lot of security in regards to how they will be able to do that. So I thank you, Brother Kareem.
I'm so sorry. I know I'm holding the show up, but one other thing just came to mind. I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
Don't be sorry, just say it, brother.
Spend time with your children.
Yes.
Come on, say that again, brother Kareem.
Grab a stick, grab a controller, play that game with that
Oh.
child.
That will mean the world to them.
That was huge. I couldn't go without
Come
saying.
on.
Yeah.
That's very good.
I
And
like that. I
that's
like that idea.
that's very good advice. And
Brother
before,
Kareem, I wanna thank your wife for allowing us to borrow you for a little bit over an hour here tonight. Thank you, Sister Sabbath. I know you're tuning in because you keep commenting.
and listen, I want to say this before we get cut off. Kareem, thank you so much for sharing your perspective on the positives and the negatives of gaming. Again, we just want to reiterate the point that you can control the situation. There are mechanisms on your PC, or if you're using a PC or laptop, even at gaming stations, you just cut off times that you can set for your children. It just cuts off and they can't get in. And they would need a password to get in, or
Right.
I used to program that. I used to program my son's phone so he would get locked out of the internet and everything else after a certain time, and he knows he knows that. So there's things that you can do. So I just want to, as a reminder, there you can control it. You don't have to wait or ask them. Just put the controls in, create the passwords, shut them off at a certain time. My son couldn't access the internet after 9 o'clock. That was it. He couldn't. And so the only reason why he was able to do that, as a parent, I shut it down. So you all can do the same. So again, Kareem, thank you so much for sharing your perspective. We appreciate your beautiful wife with her comments. We love you, Sister Bernice, for producing such a little angel. Well, he's not a little angel anymore. He's a big
An adult, right?
He's a mighty FOI, Sister Michelle.
I know, but I still see them such and so small. Anyway,
He's an FOI. All praise is due to Allah.
Praise
yes,
be.
sir. Yes, sir. But again, thank you. We end our show, and again, next week, Thursday, please tune in. 7th Region Coalition.
Oh, please.
That's right. I almost forgot.
Hey,
to donate something. Give us a little something. Give us a little love.
If you benefited from the program here tonight, put something on. Put 5 on it. Don't sing the rest of the song. Just put 5 on it.
Lord. Okay.
And if you bear witness to the truth that you heard here tonight, visit your local mosque or study group in your area. If you're here in the 7th region, you could inbox us. We could tell you where there is a mosque or study group in your area. Or if you're in Atlanta with Brother Kareem, visit Muhammad Mosque number 15, A or B. Maybe they're developing a C or a D or E very soon. I know I have various study groups over there, but support the 7th Region Coalition, support the Nation of Islam as we're guiding our people to truth and righteousness. And we thank you for your support, family. Keep tuning in to the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives.
Praise be to Allah.
All right.
Everyone.
Assalamu alaikum.